Julian Vane's fingers hovered over the biometric panel 3 seconds too long. The glass entrance should have recognized him instantly. Retinal scan, thermal signature, gait analysis. The delay stretched. When the door finally slid open, it made no sound. He stepped into manufactured silence. The foyer lights didn't trigger. The security console remained dark. His daughter's bedroom was 2 floors up. He took the stairs without touching the railing. The nursery door stood open. He always kept it closed. Mia and Sophie sat bound at the foot of the bed, silk scarves around small wrists, gentle but deliberate. They weren't crying. Their eyes tracked him with unnatural stillness. Elena Vance knelt beside them, similarly restrained. Her blonde hair had come loose. When their eyes met, Julian saw desperation, not guilt. She jerked her head toward the closet, twice. He found nothing but winter coats and a stuffed elephant. "Daddy," Sophie's whisper cut through his paralysis. "The house did it." He freed Elena first. She ripped the gag away, gasping. "Don't touch the system. Someone's inside the code." "Inside where?" "They needed you to panic, override the security protocol." The bruises on her wrists were older than today, thumb-shaped, days old. His security team arrived within minutes. No forced entry, no corrupted files. 3 hours of footage excised cleanly. His lead investigator, Marcus, studied Elena with open suspicion. The blind spot requires biometric access, hers or yours. Julian's phone buzzed. Sentinel Core audit initiated. 30-day compliance window. The audit would mirror everything to external servers. Any irregularity meant custody review. He looked at Elena reading to the twins, Mia's hand clutching her sleeve. "She stays," Julian said. Marcus's jaw tightened. "You're making this personal." "It's been personal since someone tied my daughters up." That night, Julian watched the nursery feed. Elena rocked between the twin beds, humming. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. A photo taken from inside that room, showing him watching. "She's perfect for the role, isn't she?" Day 1 of 30. Elena turned toward the window, lips forming silent words. "Trust me or don't, but don't look away." Before we continue, I need your help. We're on a mission to hit 1,000 subscribers, and every single subscription gets us closer to that goal. If you enjoy stories about complicated love, about people who choose each other despite the odds, please hit that subscribe button. And I'd love to know, where are you listening from? Drop a comment and tell me your city or country. Building this community means everything, and knowing where you all are from makes it even more special. The kitchen at 3:17 a.m. smelled like chamomile. Elena didn't startle when Julian entered, just slid a mug toward the empty stool. Couldn't sleep either? He remained standing. The twins? Mia had a nightmare. Your system logged it. I know. He'd watched the whole thing, watched her smooth Mia's hair with devastating tenderness. How long are you going to punish yourself for wanting to believe me? She took a careful sip. The accusation landed hard. Julian sat. Someone sent me a photo yesterday, taken from inside the nursery while I was watching you. Her cup stopped midair. What? They're in the live feeds. He showed her. Her face went pale. Then they know you haven't reported me, that you're keeping me here against protocol. Her eyes found his. That you're choosing to believe me. I'm choosing to gather evidence. Is that what we're calling it? He couldn't answer that. She set the mug down. My brother died in a smart home 3 years ago. Sentinel residential. First generation. Fire in the kitchen. System sealed the exits. Override failed. Her voice flattened. He was dead 11 minutes before they breached the door. Julian felt ice settle in his chest. What was his name? David. He trusted the system more than his instincts. She traced the mug's rim. I came here to see if you understood what you'd created,
if you could tell the difference between protection and imprisonment. And you still think cameras make you a good father. Before he could respond, the lights flickered. The entire house went dark. Emergency lighting kicked in after 3 seconds. Julian's phone erupted with alerts. Elena was already moving toward the stairs. The twins. Stay here. He grabbed her arm. Then we go together. The nursery door stood open. Both girls stood in the center, eyes unfocused, pupils dilated. Mia? Sophie? Julian knelt. Neither reacted. Elena pushed past him, touching Sophie's face. She's burning up. He checked Mia. Same. Fever spiking impossibly fast. The environmental controls, Elena gasped. The nursery read 87 degrees and climbing. Thermostat locked. Bathroom, cold water, now. They stripped the girls, lowered them into cool water. Sophie whimpered. Mia's eyes rolled back. Julian ran for the server room, yanked the power cable. When he returned, both girls were crying, awareness returning. Elena had wrapped them in towels, singing something formless. "Someone just tried to kill them," she whispered. Julian showed her the logs. The override came from her biometric profile, 17 minutes ago, while she sat with him in the kitchen. "That's impossible. I was with you." "I know." "Then someone cloned my access." Her face went white. "Or I have an accomplice." "Or you're lying." The words came out surgical. She flinched. "Then why did you pull the power instead of calling your team?" Because watching her protect his daughters felt more real than any log file. He didn't say that. "Get them dried off." By dawn, Marcus confirmed the override was professional grade. "How many people have that?" 4. You, 2 engineers, and the legacy copy from your divorce. "My ex-wife has the source code?" Court ordered emergency access to the girls. Marcus left to run forensics. Julian stood alone among machines designed to protect, all turned into weapons. His phone buzzed. Day 2 of 30. Question: what happens when protecting them means protecting her? In the living room, Elena read the same picture book, both twins pressed against her. When she looked up, she held his gaze with unbearable steadiness. Marcus reappeared. Protocol suggests isolation. Elena stays, under full protection detail. "You're making this personal." "I'm done pretending otherwise." Julian's voice dropped. "She's proven she'll bleed for them. That's more than most." After Marcus left, disapproving and stiff, Sophie climbed into Julian's lap while Mia stayed with Elena. "Is Elena in trouble?" Sophie whispered. "No, baby." "Then why is everyone looking at her like she is?" Julian met Elena's eyes. "Because sometimes the people trying hardest to protect you are the ones everyone blames." That night, one final message arrived. "You've chosen. Now let's see what it costs you." Julian watched Elena sleep in the guest room he'd moved her into. 3 doors from the twins. Close enough to trust. 28 days remaining.
17 days in, Julian found Elena's things everywhere. A hair tie on his counter, her glasses beside his coffee, her presence bleeding into his life's architecture. At 11:47 p.m., she appeared in his office doorway wearing his MIT sweatshirt. "They're asleep. Mia's asking about the cameras." "What kind of questions?" "Whether they watch her in the bathroom, whether you can see her dreams." Elena stepped inside. She's starting to understand what surveillance means. It means she's safe. It means she's documented. There's a difference. He should have asked her to leave. Instead, he moved to the window. "When I was 12, my father disappeared for 6 months. No note, no proof he'd existed." Julian pressed his palm against cold glass. "I built a system that makes disappearance impossible." Her reflection appeared beside his, and imprisoned them in the process. He turned. She was close enough that he could see her pulse. "Why are you really here?" "Because you're watching footage instead of sleeping." "That's not what I'm asking." "I know." Her voice cracked. "I'm here because I can't watch you do to them what the system did to David." He died because he trusted a machine more than his instincts. Get out. Julian, I said get out. After she left, he pulled up archived footage from her first day, watched her palm linger on the scanner too long, watched her eyes catalog camera placements with professional precision. She'd been mapping the system since day one. Marcus called. We traced the override commands, professional signature spoofing, but the timing gave it away. He pulled up data showing 3 overlapping profiles. Someone cloned her access from outside the house, 15 miles out, Bellingham's server farm. Whose? Blackwood Security Solutions. The ice hit Julian's veins. Lucas Blackwood. Your ex-wife's consultant. He has the source code from the settlement. He's manufacturing evidence and using Elena as the patsy. 3 months ago, Blackwood inquired about hiring trauma recovery specialists. 2 weeks later, Elena applied. Marcus paused. She wasn't random. Then why protect the twins during the thermostat attack? Maybe she was supposed to witness it. Perfect testimony to system failure. Julian stared at the data. She's been in contact with someone at Blackwood's firm. Encrypted messages. Frequent. The evidence was damning, but it didn't explain the old bruises, didn't explain her brother, didn't explain how she'd looked at him an hour ago. Full communication intercept. Everything. When Julian returned upstairs, Mia stood outside his door holding her elephant. I had a bad dream. Elena left and the house locked us inside. He carried her back to the nursery. Elena's not leaving, I promise. But Elena stood in the doorway when he straightened, still wearing his sweatshirt, eyes red. I need to tell you something. After I do, you're going to want me gone. They went to the guest room. She closed the door. I was hired by Blackwood 3 months ago. He said he needed documentation of vulnerabilities for a custody case, that the father was using surveillance to control his children. Her voice shook. He didn't tell me it was you. Not at first. Julian's hands curled. I was supposed to document failures, report instabilities, but then I met the twins, watched you with them, realized Blackwood wasn't protecting them, he was weaponizing them. So you kept reporting. I kept stalling, sending useless data. The night of the incident, he triggered it remotely using my signature. I didn't know until it was done. Why didn't you tell me? He said he'd leak everything, the black box files. He'd destroy you and take the girls. Her jaw tightened. He wants the source code, full Sentinel Core access, and he wants the twins with your ex-wife so he can position himself as their guardian. Christ. I tried to get out, but every time I thought about leaving, she gestured helplessly at the nursery. They need someone who sees them as children, not data. And you need someone to tell you the truth before you disappear inside this cage. The silence stretched. This woman had lied, manipulated, and still chosen his daughters over her own safety. The audit ends in 13 days. If I purge now, I lock Blackwood out, but it erases proof you protected the girls. No documentation. So you lose either way. Unless I let the audit complete. Let it document everything, including your communications, your presence during incidents, your bond with them. His voice dropped. Prove you were here to protect them. If Blackwood twists the data, I lose custody permanently. He reached out slowly, fingers brushing the bruise on her shoulder. Who did this? Blackwood. When I wanted out. When? 2 days before the incident. She'd been battered into compliance and still found a way to protect them. His hand moved to her jaw. You're not leaving. I'm not safe anywhere. Here, I can watch you. You've been watching since I arrived. Not like this. When their lips met, it was desperate and furious. Elena's hands fisted in his shirt. Years of isolation shattered into heat. They broke apart gasping. This doesn't solve anything, she whispered. I know.
The house lights flickered. Every screen went black. Footsteps. Downstairs. Julian grabbed Elena's hand. They ran for the twins, grabbed the girls. He tried the safe room. Access denied. He locked you out, Elena breathed. They barricaded in the bathroom. A knock. Calm. Patient. Mr. Vane, no need for dramatics. I just need a conversation. You're trespassing. Am I? The court would argue I'm conducting a wellness check. Your system just failed. Again. Very concerning for two small girls. Get out. Not until we discuss terms. You see, I have 14 days of audit data showing your nanny documenting vulnerabilities and communicating with external parties. Open the door. Let's be civilized. Julian looked at Elena, at his twins against her. 13 days left on the audit. If we survive tonight, everything gets documented. He unlocked the door. What happens when the only way to protect your family is to stop hiding? Tell us where you're watching from.
Lucas Blackwood stood in tailored perfection, 3 tactical operators behind him. Smart choice. Julian positioned himself between them and the bathroom. 60 seconds. I didn't break in. Your ex-wife provided access as co-guardian. He showed the court order, stamped, sealed. Emergency petition, granted based on documented failures. I was never notified. You were, at 6:47 p.m., via the system. Blackwood smiled. Oh, right, your system's been offline. You fabricated evidence. I documented vulnerabilities. The court drew conclusions. He gestured toward the bathroom. Now, bring the children out. No. Julian, you have a nanny with communications to my firm, a system that's malfunctioned twice, now complete infrastructure failure with your daughters locked inside. He shook his head. Any judge will see you're compromised. What do you really want? Source code, full access to Sentinel Core. Governments will pay billions. Blackwood stepped closer. Your ex-wife gets custody, you get a consulting fee. The girls grow up thinking daddy couldn't handle pressure. And if I refuse? In 60 seconds, my team removes the children by force. Tomorrow, every outlet runs the story of Julian Vane's mental breakdown. Business transaction or public destruction. The audit was still recording locally, every word captured. If he kept Blackwood talking, there would be proof. But 13 more days felt impossible. You want the source code? Fine. 72 hours to organize transfer. Clean handoff. In exchange, supervised visitation and media blackout. Blackwood considered. 48 hours. The nanny leaves tonight. No. Elena stays. She's the only person the twins trust. You want them cooperative, she stays until transfer. Blackwood's jaw tightened. She's a security risk. She's been protecting my daughters since you started using them as leverage. You want me compliant, prove you care about their well-being. Finally, Blackwood smiled. 48 hours, she stays. But if you resist, my next visit won't be polite. After they left, Elena steadied Julian's elbow. Are you insane? Probably, but now we have 48 hours to finish the audit. He pulled up diagnostics. Local recording, active. Remote feed is offline. Local storage still running. Elena stared. You let him think he won. Because he did, for now. But in 48 hours, audit data uploads automatically. Everything. The extortion, threats, illegal entry, mirrors to external servers. Julian's fingers flew. The court can't ignore that. Unless he destroys local storage. He can't. Air-gapped, encrypted with biometric access only I have. Julian, if you expose how vulnerable this system is, every client walks. I know. Your entire company. I know, but my daughters are worth more than Sentinel Core. And you… He stopped. You're choosing them over everything, she whispered. I'm choosing all of you. He cupped her face. I should have done it 13 days ago.
This will cost you everything. Not everything, just everything I thought mattered. She kissed him, hard and desperate. When they broke apart, foreheads touched. 48 hours. What do? We document everything, build a record so complete no court can deny what he did. And the twins? We give them normal as we can. After this is over, don't. She pressed fingers to his lips. Don't promise anything, not until we know what's left. He caught her hand. I'm going to lose my company, probably my reputation, maybe partial custody, but I'm not losing you. You don't know me. I know you stayed when anyone sane would have run. I know my daughters trust you more than my protection. He pulled her closer. I know I've spent 17 days watching you on cameras when I should have just been watching you. Her laugh was shaky. The most romantic stalker confession ever. They spent 48 hours living like the house wasn't a trap. Julian cooked badly. Elena taught the twins to braid hair. They built pillow forts, told stories. Every night, they watched the audit timeline grow. On night 2, Elena fell asleep against his shoulder. Julian worked one-handed, queuing evidence files. At 3 a.m., Marcus texted, Blackwood filed emergency injunction, trying to block audit upload. Can they? Not if you submit before 9 a.m. 6 hours. At 8:47 a.m., Julian hit submit. The upload crawled. 87%, 93%, 98%. His phone exploded with notifications. 100%. Upload complete. Audit evidence successfully filed. Did we? Elena stirred. We did. What happens now? Blackwood's lawyers try suppression. My lawyers fight. Court reviews. We wait 72 hours. I can't do 3 more days in this house. Then let's leave. Pack essentials, lake house, off-grid, no surveillance. He squeezed her hand. Just us until the court decides. They left within the hour. The lake house was everything the obsidian house wasn't. Small, weathered, human. No locks requiring biometrics, just windows showing trees. For 3 days, they existed in suspension. The twins played by water. Elena taught stone skipping. Julian forgot to check his phone. Second night, Elena found him on the dock. You're going to lose everything, aren't you? Probably. Stock dropped 40%, half my clients terminated, board wants my resignation. I'm sorry. Don't be. I spent 10 years building a company designed to eliminate trust. Turns out, trust was the only thing worth having. She stepped closer. What will you do? I don't know, but I'm done watching life through cameras, done measuring safety in data. His voice dropped. Done pretending control and love are the same thing. Her fingers tightened on his. The girls will need therapy, years of it. I know. And you'll need to learn to parent without surveillance. I know. And I came into your life as a lie. Can't what? Love me anyway. He pulled her closer, hands framing her face. Watch me. The kiss tasted like lake water and surrender. Elena's arms wrapped around his neck. This is insane. Completely. We don't even know if you'll have custody in 3 days. Then we'll figure it out together. She pulled back. Julian, I need you to understand. I'm not staying because I'm your employee or because the twins need me. I'm staying because somewhere between being your suspect and accomplice, I fell in love with the man who stopped watching and started seeing. His chest tightened. Elena, if the court takes the girls, I'm still here. If Blackwood destroys you, I'm still here. If you lose everything, I'm still here. He kissed her slower, deliberate. When they broke apart, foreheads rested together. Come on, before I forget my daughters are 30 feet away. They walked back hand in hand. 48 hours until the court decides. What if protection wasn't surveillance? What if love wasn't control?
The call came at 6:14 a.m. on day 3. Julian answered immediately. Elena's hand found his under the blankets. "Mr. Vane, the court has issued its preliminary ruling." And? Emergency custody petition denied. Judge found Blackwood's evidence insufficient and your audit compelling. You retain full custody pending comprehensive review in 90 days. Julian's breath left in a rush. Elena's fingers squeezed his. However, conditions exist. Mandatory family counseling, quarterly evaluations, immediate termination of all Sentinel surveillance equipment in your residence. Done. There's more. Blackwood's firm referred for investigation regarding unlawful entry and extortion. Your ex-wife withdrew her petition claiming she was misled. You won, Julian, completely. After the call, Julian sat in silence. "You okay?" Elena asked. "I dismantled everything I built to protect them, and the court says that was right, because it was. What if I can't keep them safe without the system?" Then you learn. You learn to trust your instincts. Listen when they're scared. Be their father, not their warden. And if I fail, we figure it out together. That's what families do. Behind them, small footsteps. "Daddy, are we going home?" Both twins stood in the doorway with stuffed animals. "Yeah, baby, we're going home." "To the glass house?" Julian glanced at Elena. "No, a new house. One with regular doors and no cameras. How does that sound?" Sophie frowned. "Who's going to watch us?" "I am. Elena is. We'll watch each other. The old-fashioned way." 3 weeks later, they moved into a brick house in Oak Haven proper. 2 stories, windows that just let in light. Julian hired contractors to dismantle the Obsidian House systems. Miles of cable, biometric panels, the entire server room. On the last day, he stood in the empty master suite watching sunset through glass that no longer recorded. Elena appeared. Ready to let it go? That system was supposed to keep them safe forever. Nothing keeps anyone safe forever. Maybe safe isn't what they need. Maybe they just need to be seen. He pulled her close, kissing her temple. "When did you get so wise?" "When I stopped running from who I was and started becoming who I was meant to be." "And who were you meant to be?" "Theirs." She nodded toward the twins arguing over the final shutdown button. "And yours, if you'll have me." He kissed her slow and certain. Always. That night, in their new house with regular locks and silent walls, Julian woke at 2 a.m. out of habit. No feeds to check. Just Elena sleeping beside him. He started for his phone, then stopped. Instead, he walked to the twins' room. Door cracked open, not monitored, just open. Mia's arm flung over Sophie's pillow, Sophie's mouth hanging open, stuffed animals tangled between them. No cameras recorded it, no sensors logged his presence. Just a father watching his daughters, trusting tomorrow he'd do the same. Not because a system told him to, because he chose to. Elena appeared, hands slipping into his. "You're getting good at this," she whispered. "At what?" "At seeing them without watching them." He pulled her closer. "I had a good teacher." They stood together in darkness, 2 people bound by something more complicated than love and more essential than safety. The twins slept on, unaware the cameras were gone, that their father had learned the difference between protection and trust. In the morning, Julian would make breakfast. Elena would braid hair. They'd argue over whose turn to choose music. And in the ordinary chaos of a family learning to live without surveillance, they'd build something no system could quantify. Something real, something worth the cost. But that night, Julian Vane stood in his daughter's doorway and finally stopped watching. And started living instead.